This is 700 Lil Mello, a Detroit rapper who just signed a major label deal, sitting in an interview just weeks after being shot in the face and chest, still in the same clothes he wore to bury his little brother. His brother had just been killed on camera in broad daylight. But to understand how it all got to this point, we have to go back to where the whole thing actually started. And it started with a girl named Deanna who never made it back inside from unloading groceries. To understand this story, you need to understand where these people came from and what kind of world shaped them before any of the violence even started. 700 Lil Mello is a rapper from Detroit's East Side. His real name is ROMELO Johnson, and he reps the 700 crew, also called Wax Gang or 4GTMT, which is part of a younger generation coming under the 5'5" 7 Mile Bloods, one of the most rooted street organizations in Detroit. The 7 Mile Bloods have been operating since around 2003 in the stretch of city between 7 Mile and 8 Mile roads, east of Gratiot Avenue. This is a part of town they called the Red Zone, and in graffiti across the neighborhood, 4820 Die. Over the years, younger groups grew out of that same ground, and the 700 crew was one of them, bringing rap, social media, and street violence into a loop that kept feeding itself. Mello's little brother, Deon Davis, was 700 Deon in the streets, and he was right in the thick of the crew's business from a young age. By 17, he was already catching cases. In August of 2020, he was charged in connection with a fatal drag racing incident in the East 7 Mile area, where a mother of 7 was killed when the car he was allegedly in crashed during a police chase. He was also tied to other felony cases around that same period in Wayne and Macomb counties. By the time he was 18, he already had multiple open cases hanging over him, and he was still very much in the street. The family also had a sister, and her name was Deanna Janae Davis, and she was 18 years old. On the evening of January 22, 2021, Deanna and her 19-year-old friend Tajane Jasmine Holloway were coming back to the Wellington Crescent apartments in Clinton Township just outside Detroit after a grocery run, and both of them lived there at the complex. They were in the parking lot pulling bags from the car when two men in a stolen black Dodge Charger opened fire on them. They fired close to 40 rounds from an AR-15 rifle and a .45 caliber handgun aimed at two unarmed young women with no warning and no way to escape. There was an 18-month-old baby in the car who was not hit. Deanna was shot 5 times while trying to run back toward the building, twice in the back.